Hi, do you like ASDA? Today we are blind taste testing the ASDA branded product versus the British big brand product. Hi everyone, it's me. My name is Alanna and I'm a Canadian, but I have been living here in the UK for the last 8 years. I love taste tests. If you look at my channel, that becomes very obvious, but I've actually never done a blind ASDA taste test before. So I'm very excited. Grab a cuppa, have a seat, put your feet up, get cozy, and without further ado, let's go. To start off, we are going strong with salt and vinegar. So we have the ASDA's own in its very plain looking green multi-pack bag, not very exciting. And then we have the Top Dog Walker's salt and vinegar. But is there any difference? I bet there isn't. Cheers. Tastes like salt and vinegar. Cheers. These taste like the chips my grandma used to have in her house when I go for a visit, and they weren't quite right. Tastes like salt and vinegar though. I think these are Walker's, and I think these are ASDA. In any case, these ones taste ever so slightly different in a grandma kind of way. Oh wow, all right, I am humbled. I really thought these had a kind of a grandma taste. These are great. I know less than I thought I did. Okay, so for reference, for anyone at home keeping score, now I actually bought a lot of this stuff at ASDA. The ASDA stuff obviously, but the branded stuff. So the ASDA salt and vinegar for a multi-pack that has 6 of them, that was 89 pence for 6. Literally insane. The Walker's for a multi-pack of 6, that was, did you guess it? Guess it? Did you guess it? £2. So there is actually a difference if you buy this. Often, you know, you want to throw it in your lunch or your kid's lunch, or I don't know. There is an actual difference. And doing it blind, I actually preferred the ASDA, which was not really how I expected this video to go. But here we are. Next up, we have milk chocolate digestives. I thought this was a good one. We of course have the ASDA own milk chocolate. The purpose of this video, I only wanted to get ASDA's own versus a big brand. So I didn't realize that ASDA does their own milk chocolate digestives. Look pretty normal. Then of course we have the juggernaut, if you will, McVitie's, which between you and me, I always hate the McVitie's package because there's always so much crap on it. It's always like, scan this to win. Anyway, does anyone ever scan that? Maybe not. Here we are. The 2 digestives are starting to melt in my hands. Let's start this side. Cheers. Okay. Tastes like a digestive. Cheers. Not in the biscuit, not in the chocolate. There's no obvious difference between these at all. And I think, well, I thought before I was a pretty good judge of character. I have absolutely no clue. There isn't even a benefit for me guessing because this will absolutely be a punt. I'm gonna say this is ASDA and this is McVitie's. Okay, I was correct, but that was literally just a guess. I'm shocked. There's literally no difference to me at all. Now for pricing. The ASDA milk chocolate digestives, 300 grams, 85 pence. For that much is pretty shocking. The McVitie's milk chocolate, which, did you know, slightly lighter. There's only 266 grams for £1.90. So both of these, the chips, the crisps rather, my apologies, and this, there's like a substantial difference, even though they seem to be the exact same product. And I bought both of these at ASDA. The more you know. I am truly shocked. Okay, next up, beans. Welcome to England. So of course we have the ASDA own essentials in their bright yellow branded can. And of course, we're going against Heinz in their very iconic, recognizable teal. We're going to start over on this side. Cheers, everybody. Oh. Tastes like beans. Really goes with the milk chocolate still in my teeth. This is not immediately recognizable. The only thing in my gut is that this side tastes ever so slightly more recognizable, but honestly, that's pulling at straws. This one tastes ever so slightly sweeter, but I don't know if that's in my head. But this is, with no sight, there's really no noticeable difference. But I am going to say that this is Heinz, but I am very uncertain. What? Oh my god. Okay, well, that's fascinating. So a couple of points. The ASDA does not have a pull tab, so you have to have a can opener, which honestly I haven't seen in a very long time. And the 1 can of ASDA beans, guess how much? 27 pence for 1 can. They're basically just giving it away. Now, at the time of placing my ASDA order, I couldn't get just 1 can of Heinz for comparison, so I did go to Tesco. You can buy 1 can, which is what? 415-ish grams. On Tesco right now, it's £1.40, but they often are on Club Card. So if you got a Club Card, you get them cheaper, or you buy the like pack of 4, and it usually works out a bit cheaper per can. But for comparison, this was its own can. It was not on sale. It was not part of a special. Just 1 can. Less than 30 pence. Literally insane. This one's quite surprising. I'm actually just being humbled. Every round I'm being humbled. I could not tell the difference. Okay, next up we have cheese. Now recently I did a taste test with cheddar, so I thought, ooh, let's do something different. Let's go Red Leicester. So we have the ASDA's Essential Red Leicester. Quite a big block. I think it's like 400 grams or something. Like, pretty nice. I couldn't get any well-known branded Red Leicester on my ASDA shop, so I went to Tesco and I couldn't really find anything there either. So I ended up getting a fancy looking Red Leicester from Tesco. It's one of the small blocks. It's like a fancy version, if you will. So in my heart, as someone who really likes cheese, I don't eat a lot of Red Leicester, to be fair. I feel like this one should be noticeable. Maybe. Red Leicester 1, cheers. That is a plasticky cheese, my guys. Red Leicester 2. Oh, yeah. This actually tastes like something, but it's quite strong. To be fair, this is like a specialty cheese. This, even when you kind of like squeeze it, it feels very plasticky. It's fine. This is at this side. This is absolutely ASDA. This is the specialty. Ta-da! If you were cooking with Red Leicester or you were putting it in something and it didn't need to be that special, fine. You won't notice, probably. Usually when I have cheese, I like eat the cheese. I eat it as it is. I like to eat it like raw, if you will. So I like to have a nice cheese because it's super obvious and I can really, really taste it. I'll tell you what though, if you like Red Leicester, this Bolton Farm Red Fox is really tasty. If you see it at the shop, I got it at Tesco. This is great. Yum! Now, pricing. For the 400 gram Red Leicester Just Essentials, you're looking at £2.49, which, to be fair, for 400 grams, that's pretty reasonable, right? Now for our fancy guy Red Fox, this is half the weight. This is 200 grams and it's 3 pounds. So for half the weight, for more expensive, pros and cons, right? But I will say this is really, really tasty if you're eating cheese like on a cheese board, maybe with some apple or something nice. This is really nice. I would not have a great experience doing that with this. But cooking, sure. But I know my cheese. I'm quite happy that I figured this one out. Next up, we have Oreos, aka cookies and cream biscuits. So first up, the ASDA branded one. They just call themselves cookie and cream biscuits, which is honestly very funny. And then of course we are comparing with the OG Oreo. Both of these are available at ASDA, so it's not like you are deprived of the real one. I will tell you right now, this one feels weird. Cheers. Tastes like an Oreo. Cheers. Also tastes like an Oreo. Although I'll tell you what, there's a weird aftertaste on this. I think this is ASDA because I don't remember Oreos being so like bumpy. I'm literally like reading Braille. I'm an Oreo Braille reader. I think this has kind of a funny aftertaste. Yeah. Or maybe that's the cheese. On first glance, these taste very similar, but I do think this is ASDA, and it does kind of have like a funny taste in the biscuit. I think it's the biscuit that's a little bit different. Yay! Oh, wow, I've made a mess. Something about that biscuit is, it is actually kind of noticeable compared to the OG. And I don't even really eat Oreos that much, but it is kind of noticeable. In terms of price, the ASDA cookies and cream for 154 grams is 50 pence. 0.50 for that. Kind of wild. The Oreo biscuits, which is the same weight, so they are the exact same sizes. The Oreos are £1.30. So like a reasonable amount of difference. I do think this is noticeable though. I think that biscuit, maybe if you were like, if you're a milk dunker, maybe it wouldn't be so noticeable, but just eating them, I do notice it. So do what you will with that information. Okay, next up, one of the UK's greatest treasures, pot noodle. So I didn't realize that ASDA does their own chicken and mushroom pot noodle. Looks very reminiscent of perhaps the king of pot noodle, the chicken and mushroom kind, of course. I did have a quick look when I was ordering. The actual pot noodle is bigger than the ASDA one, which is I think the first time the real version is bigger. Anyway, here we go. How difficult is it to eat hot pot noodle with your eyes closed? That's the question, isn't it? Oh, I should also say, my wonderful assistant has told me that the ASDA pot noodle, you know, in regular pot noodle, you get like the soy bit kind of separate. I never put the soy in. I always just have it like plain. In the ASDA one, it's all mixed in as one. In one packet, you have to use it all. So we have done the soy in the regular pot noodle. The more you know. That's the wrong way around. Tastes like a pot noodle. It's been a while. Okay. And this one. Oh, that's a hot one. It's hard to tell because they both just taste like really hot noodles. This one I really taste the soy. Yeah, I feel like the soy on that one is really noticeable. And also the noodles are like so attached. This one I feel like they're not really sticking together. I'm gonna say this is ASDA. I feel like this one has more of a flavor. Like the soy is really noticeable. The noodles also feel like, I don't know, maybe because they're stuck together, they feel like thicker, and I feel like this maybe this is the ASDA. But honestly, it's, I don't know. I know literally nothing. Interestingly, so the same amount of water went into both of these, and the ASDA one just sucked it right up. Like, look, it's just noodles. There's like almost no liquid situation happening. Whereas the real guy, there's so much liquid and it's the same amount. I don't know. Now, prices, the ASDA Essential Pot Noodle, 70 grams is 54 pence. 54. The OG pot noodle is 90 grams, so a little bit bigger, and it is 65 pence. So there's only, what, hardly any difference at all. Pot noodle's a little bit bigger, but depending on your preference of taste, these are almost the same. And I really couldn't tell. I thought this was nicer just because it's less soupy. I like when it's like almost not even soupy at all. Fascinating. The more you know. Would you like some dessert, aka pudding? We have Bak W Tarts. So ASDA does their own kind of bakery looking version of a Bak W Tart. The packaging looks nice. You can kind of see them on the inside. Looks pretty cool. I think there's 6 in a box versus, of course, the Mr. Kipling. Now, loads of people in the comments on my taste test are like, oh, Mr. Kipling's the best. Humbly disagree. I think Mr. Kipling is average. Go ahead and leave a comment down below if you agree or not. But Mr. Kipling is really the OG, the branded product. I think if you can get a bakery Bak W Tart, it's quite different, but sometimes you don't have time, you know, and you want a 6 of Mr. Kipling. So here we go. Let's start with this one. Cheers. Bak W Tart. Pretty tasty. Lots of almond flavor on that one. Cheers. I don't like this one. The icing is like kind of hard and it doesn't really have as much of a flavor. This one I think is quite nice and I will literally eat my own hat if this is Mr. Kipling. It tastes really almondy and moist and everything. That's nice. I'm gonna say the one that I prefer, I think might actually be ASDA. It does taste more like a bakery Bak W Tart, where I think this is Mr. Kipling on this side. Tastes more processed, doesn't have as much of like a bright flavor to it. If I'm wrong, I will be humbled. But I'm not wrong and I will not be humbled. I'll tell you what, this is a lovely surprise. The ASDA one tastes, ignore the hair right now. The ASDA one tastes more like a bakery type Bak W Tart, where this one really did feel a bit processed. I mean, they're both processed. Just felt like the ASDA one had more going on than the Mr. Kipling one. Humble opinion. Now, they are both 6 packs. Very comparable. Love to see it. The ASDA ones are £1.65 for 6 Bak W Tarts. They're very tasty. Happy to have these. £1.65. What a bargain. Mr. Kipling, on the other hand, of course you can get these pretty much at any supermarket, so you don't have to go out of your way to get them. 6 tarts as well. £2.75. I think that is a ripoff. I'm really happy with these ones. They taste nice. I'm gonna eat the rest of them. So there we have it, a blind taste test, ASDA versus the branded stuff. I'll be honest, I feel a little bit humbled, but not entirely. Some of this stuff was so difficult to tell the difference. Other bits, like the cheese, I'd want to spend a little bit more money on than getting the absolute basic. But honestly, a lot of this, I struggle to find a difference. And I didn't think this video was gonna go this way. If you would like to watch more content right now, which would be totally awesome, how about this one, comparing England's most expensive supermarket versus the cheapest. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!